1997. A car crashes in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. Inside Dodi Fayed, the driver Henri Paul, and Diana, Princess of Wales. Official reports say it was a tragic accident, but for nearly 3 decades, questions have refused to die. Was it simply reckless driving? Or was the most beloved woman in the world silenced forever? By the mid-1990s, Princess Diana was no longer simply a member of the British royal family. She was the people's princess, a global phenomenon. Her every move made headlines. Her smile, her fashion, her causes all meticulously documented, yet deeply misunderstood. In 1996, Diana finalized her divorce from Prince Charles. It was the end of a royal fairy tale, but the beginning of her true legacy. Free from the constraints of palace life, Diana stepped fully into the spotlight. She used her platform to champion controversial causes: AIDS awareness, landmine victims, homelessness, causes the royal family had long avoided. But with fame came obsession. The paparazzi followed her ruthlessly. Every dinner, every outing, every private moment, documented and sold. Then came Dodi Fayed, the enigmatic son of Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. In the summer of 1997, Diana and Dodi were inseparable. They vacationed aboard luxury yachts in the Mediterranean. They were photographed walking hand in hand through crowded streets. The media frenzy reached a fever pitch. Were they in love? Was this just a summer fling? Or was there something more? Official story. The official investigation moved quickly. French authorities, followed later by British investigators in Operation Paget, reached the same conclusion. Henri Paul, the deputy head of security at the Ritz Hotel, had been behind the wheel. According to toxicology reports, he was heavily intoxicated more than 3 times the legal limit. Driving a black Mercedes S280, speeding through the narrow streets of Paris, he lost control in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. The car struck a pillar and crashed. Of the 4 people inside, only 1 survived. Diana, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was critically injured. She was rushed to the Pitié-Salpêtrière hospital, where she died in the early hours of August 31, 1997. The official cause of death? A tragic accident caused by a drunk driver, reckless speed, and the absence of seatbelts. Case closed. For some, but cracks in the official narrative appeared almost immediately. Why was Henri Paul's blood alcohol level so high when multiple witnesses said he seemed perfectly sober that night? Why did the CCTV footage inside the Ritz mysteriously go missing? And why were they even in that car to begin with when a decoy vehicle had been prepared? For investigators and skeptics alike, these inconsistencies weren't just anomalies. They were red flags, alternative theories. Not everyone accepted the official story. From the very beginning, Mohammed Al Fayed, father of Dodi Fayed, insisted this was no accident, it was murder. He pointed the finger directly at the British establishment, alleging involvement by MI6 and even members of the royal family. But why would anyone want Diana dead? According to Al Fayed, the reasons were chilling. Diana was planning to marry a Muslim man. She may have been pregnant with Dodi's child. And most importantly, she had become a threat to the image, stability, and tradition of the monarchy. In 2003, former MI6 agent Richard Tomlinson made a shocking claim. He stated that the crash in Paris bore a disturbing resemblance to tactics used by British intelligence in targeted assassinations. Theories quickly multiplied, and with them, questions. Witnesses spoke of a bright flash of light inside the tunnel, moments before the crash. Some believed the brakes of the Mercedes were tampered with. The emergency response was unusually slow, and key CCTV footage, which could have shown what really happened, was either missing or mysteriously unavailable. But perhaps the most disturbing clue of all, a letter handwritten by Diana in October 1996, just months before her death. My husband is planning an accident in my car brake failure and serious head injury. A cryptic warning? A paranoid thought? Or was Diana trying to tell the world something before it was too late? Recent developments. Over the years, the case was picked apart, re-examined, and concluded more than once. 2 major investigations, one in France and Operation Paget in the UK arrived at the same verdict: accidental death. But while the official story remained unchanged, public curiosity did not. In the shadows of tabloid headlines and royal PR, new questions have continued to surface. In 2021, a retired UK police officer came forward with a stunning claim. He alleged that evidence had been deliberately suppressed, that the truth about the crash was being buried. Days later, he retracted the statement. Was it a hoax, or was he pressured to stay silent? Then, in 2022, a controversial documentary aired previously unseen footage showing just how aggressively the paparazzi surrounded Diana and Dodi's vehicle that night in Paris. It raised troubling questions about negligence, responsibility, and intent. And in 2023, quiet rumblings echoed from behind palace walls. Leaked reports suggested growing concern within Buckingham Palace, fear that the Diana case, long considered closed, could once again return to the public spotlight. Was it merely nostalgia and media obsession, or was there a growing sense that something was still being hidden? So what really happened in Paris that night? Was it a tragic accident, the result of speed, pressure, and a relentless media chase? Or was it something far more calculated, a chain of decisions orchestrated behind closed doors, leading Diana to a destiny she never chose? One fact remains undeniable. Diana didn't trust the system. She spoke about it. She wrote about it. She feared that forces were working against her, and she feared it long before the crash. Today, over 25 years later, millions still question the official version. The missing footage, the warning letter, the silence from those in power. Was it all just a coincidence? Or a carefully managed narrative designed to protect something or someone? Maybe we'll never know the full truth, but the question remains: what do you believe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The truth might just live in the details.